Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to show you 10 ball mastery exercises that you can do in a small space. So all you need is a couple of cones. I've placed them 2 steps apart. We're going to be working between them. And we're going to work on those lateral movements from side to side. So these exercises are going to be great for midfielders or wingers looking to unbalance defenders, create spaces to dribble into, or open up passing lanes. So we're going to involve all the different surface areas of both feet and get hundreds to thousands of touches to increase our confidence and comfortability on the ball. Just before we get into them, I want to say a huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is where I bought my website, 7mlctraining.com, and from websites to analytics to marketing tools, they're the all-in-one place to grow your online presence and manage your business. But let's jump straight into the first exercise. So start on either side. We're going to use the outside of our foot to push the ball from one cone to the opposite. So we're working on the weight of our touch, making sure it gets out of our feet but not too far away so we lose control and it doesn't stay underneath our feet so that we trip over the ball. So we're going to push it out of our feet, make it seem like we're about to strike the ball. So we're going to slightly raise the arm, slight draw back of the leg, and then we're going to cushion the ball with the inside of that same foot. So instead of striking the ball, we cushion the ball and stop it with the inside. Transfer it to the outside of the opposite foot and repeat in the opposite direction. So we push it across, make it seem like we're striking the ball, then we cushion it. Push it across, seem like we're going to strike the ball and cushion it. And getting a rhythm here, working on the deceptiveness of that movement. So really convince the defender you're about to strike the ball so that they stop and freeze for a second, then you can create space on the opposite side. Then repeat this action. We're going to go for 10 repetitions, so 5 on each foot. Once you gain confidence with it, start to increase the speed and then start to lift your head. Check your surroundings, find the space and accelerate into it. Going for 10 repetitions, 5 in each direction. For the second exercise, we're going to continue mastering that fake shot action, but just adding a bit more deceptiveness to it now. So we're going to push the ball to the inside of the cones this time. So instead of going all the way across with that outside foot touch, it's a softer touch to the inside. Then we're going to perform that fake shot. So slight raise of the arm, draw back of the leg, hook it to the inside, slightly push the ball across our body, back to where the ball just came from. Then we use the inside of the opposite foot to push it all the way across, and then we stop the ball. Then we use the outside of our opposite foot, push it to the inside, fake shot, inside touch, stop. Outside touch, fake shot, inside touch, stop. Outside, fake, inside, stop. Outside, fake, inside, stop. And you're going to repeat this action, getting in a rhythm with it, start to increase the speed once you gain confidence with it, and then start to lift your head. Going for 10 repetitions, 5 in each direction. For exercise 3, we're combining la croqueta with a sole roll. So we're going to start on either side, transfer the ball from the inside of one foot to the inside of the other. So we drag it across our body, staying in contact with that ball till it's about halfway across. Then we release it to the opposite foot and stop the ball. And then we're going to sole roll across. Stop the ball with the inside of the opposite foot, then do the exact same action in the opposite direction. So we push the ball from one side of our body to the other, inside to inside, then sole, stop. Croqueta, sole, stop. Croqueta, sole, stop. Croqueta, sole, stop. Getting in a rhythm, start to increase the speed once you gain confidence with it, and then start to lift your head and check out your surroundings, seeing where the space is. Going for 10 repetitions, 5 in each direction. For exercise 4, we're continuing to use the insides and soles of both feet. This time we're starting on one side. It's a slight touch to the inside, slight touch back to the outside with the opposite foot, and then it's a roll and roll. Then we get the ball on the opposite side, slight touch to the inside, back to the outside, roll, roll. Inside, inside, roll, roll. Inside, inside, roll, roll. Inside, inside, roll, roll. Inside, inside, roll, roll. So again, we're going to get a rhythm with this one, start to increase the speed, be really precise and controlled with those touches, then start to lift the head, check out your surroundings, and then go for 10 repetitions, 5 in each direction. For the 5th exercise, we're going to introduce body feints, because not only is it important to be accurate with your touches in these tight spaces to keep control of the ball, but if we can also be deceptive with our body movements, we can unbalance defenders, we can create gaps to dribble into, and you can get out of even the tightest spaces if you're unpredictable with your body's actions. So what we're going to do for this exercise, we're going to push the ball to the inside between the cones with the outside of our foot, place the sole of that same foot on top of the ball, slightly drag it back in the same direction the ball just came from. Now we're making it seem like we've turned on the ball and we're going to accelerate into this space. The defender's going to overcompensate. They're going to try and block your movement here, and then we're going to throw a Frankie de Jong movement across the ball. So instead of actually pushing the ball with the inside of our foot, we're going to keep our foot close to the ball, almost brushing it, but then stepping, lowering our knee, dropping the shoulder to throw the defender in this direction, unbalance them, and then we're going to push the ball in the opposite direction. So let's look at it again here. Outside foot, sole stop, Frankie, push and stop. Outside, stop, Frankie, push and stop. Outside, stop, Frankie, push, stop. Getting a rhythm here. Start slowly to begin with. Once you gain confidence with the movement, then you can start to increase the speed. And then start to lift the eyes, see where the space is, and then go for 10 repetitions, 5 in each direction. For the 6th exercise, we're going to refine an action we've already mastered, the fake shot, but we're going to slightly adapt it here. So we push the ball with the outside of our foot from one cone to the other. This time, instead of hooking it with the inside of our foot, we're going to place our sole on top of the ball. So it's still that fake shot action, raising the arm, slightly drawing back the leg, but we put our sole on top of the ball and stop it. Then we get our hips over the ball. So we're in tight control of it. Then we're going to push the ball with the outside of our opposite foot in the direction we just came from. This time, fake shot, put our sole on top of the ball, but then we're going to roll it from one cone to the opposite. So we roll it all the way across, and then we stop the ball. And that's one action complete. Then we're going to repeat this in the opposite direction. So we go outside foot, sole on top of the ball to stop it, outside foot, sole across, then we stop. Outside, sole roll, stop. Outside, sole roll. So we're just working on changing the tempo of our body positioning. If we can also change the tempo of the ball and our body action, we're going to be more deceptive for defenders. And just as we've done with the other exercises, we're going to increase the speed once we gain confidence with the movement. Then we're going to start to lift our head, then go for 5 repetitions in each direction. For exercise 7, we're going to be slightly more advanced with our footwork. So start slowly to begin with, and then once you configure the movement, start to increase the speed. So we're going to start with our sole on top of the ball, dragging it towards us behind that standing leg, transfer it to the inside of that same foot and push it to the inside. Then we're going to place our opposite sole on top of the ball. Drag it slightly towards us in the same direction the ball just came from, then immediately transfer it to the sole of the opposite foot and roll it all the way across. Then we get our opposite sole on top of the ball, and we're going to perform the exact same action. So it's L drag behind that standing leg, sole roll towards us, and then sole roll across. L drag, sole, sole, L drag, sole, sole. Then getting a rhythm here. Once you start to get the pattern, increase the speed, and then start to lift the head. Check out your surroundings. And then we're going to go for 5 repetitions in each direction. For the 8th exercise, we're continuing to master the L drag, but this time we're slightly adapting the exercise. So we push the ball to the middle of the cones with the outside of our foot, sole goes on top of the ball, drag it behind the standing leg, and behind, then opposite sole goes on top of the ball, then we roll the ball across and stop it with the opposite sole. Then we go outside foot, L drag, sole, stop, outside foot, L drag, sole, stop. So as you can see, as I push it to the inside and perform the L drag, my hips show in this direction, sole goes on top of the ball, then I pull it away. So I'm showing the defender in one direction, then taking it away from them into the opposite space. Then getting a rhythm, so you push it to the inside, L drag, sole, stop, inside, L drag, sole, stop. Again, start to raise the head, start to increase the speed, and then go for 10 repetitions, 5 in each direction. For the 9th exercise, we're working on another slightly more advanced footwork action. So we're going to start with our foot on top of the ball, this time rolling it to the outside. So we're opening up our hips, rolling the ball outside of the cone, then with that same foot, we're going to use the inside of the foot to snap it all the way across to the opposite side. So we roll it out, then snap it across. Then what we're going to do with our next movement is almost make it seem like we're going to pass the ball. So we're working on a bit of deception with our body. So we roll it out, snap, then we're going to hook the ball with the outside of that same foot. So if we can be a bit more deceptive with our body movement, lunge into the ball and then hook it, you're going to create more time and space for yourself. So let's piece it all together here. So we roll, snap, lunge, outside foot. 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 Get in a rhythm here, start slowly to begin with. Once you gain confidence with it, start to increase the speed and intensity, then start to lift your head and then go for 5 repetitions, 5 in each direction. And for the 10th and final exercise, we're going to combine 2 movements that are really effective for creating space. So we're going to push the ball to the inside of the cones with the outside of our foot, then it's a Cruyff turn. So we can perform a fake shot action to make it even more deceptive. So slightly raise the arm, draw the leg back. Then we're going to hook the ball with the inside of our foot behind that standing leg. So pushing the ball back in the direction the ball just came from. And then that defender is going to overcompensate, thinking that was our movement. So they're going to lunge and get into this space here. This is where we throw our second feint. So it's very similar to the Frankie de Jong, but instead of going beside the ball, we're going to step around the ball. So we're protecting that ball with our leg, and then we perform the body feint, so lower the leg, bend in the knee, drop the shoulder, and then we push the ball out to the opposite side. Stop the ball with the sole, then perform the same action in the opposite direction. So outside foot, Cruyff into the space, step over, and then push. Sole on top of the ball. Outside foot, Cruyff, step over, push. Outside foot, Cruyff, step over, push. Outside foot, Cruyff, step over, push. Really be deceptive with your body movements. Start slowly, focusing entirely on the technique, then start to increase the speed and intensity, then start to lift the head to check out your surroundings, and then go for 5 repetitions on each leg. So there we have it, 10 exercises that you can use to supplement your training to improve your confidence on the ball, as well as the precision of your touches. And the great thing about ball mastery exercises is that you don't need much time in order to get hundreds and thousands of touches, but you also don't need much space. You can just do these at home between a couple of cones in an open space, but you can really accelerate your development. If you refine each one of those touches so they're more precise, as well as the deceptiveness of your body movements, you're gonna find yourself having a lot more success in a match. It's a great way to boost your performance. And just before I go, I want to say another huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's video. Squarespace is where I built my website, 7mlctraining.com, and it's become the central hub of my entire brand, and has allowed me to put everything 7MLC training related in one place, from my blog posts to my podcasts, as well as my very own 7-day training programs. And if you enjoyed today's exercises and you want full comprehensive training programs to take your ball mastery to the next level, I'd recommend checking out Maestro and Maestro 2.0. I'll leave links to those in the description box down below. But if you've ever considered building a website and you don't know where to start, check out Squarespace, and by using the link in my description, www.squarespace.com/7mlc, you can get 10% off your first website. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you smash the like button, hit that subscribe button for weekly training videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video.